I just like it. I don't know why. I just like it.
But unfortunately, they're ruined by the fact that there's too many of them. This time around, we're going to take a retro rewind at a blast from the past, the 1989 Tango and Cash. For one of us, it was a guilty pleasure. For the other one, they took a nap.
Welcome to Frame Rate Studio, where we love to talk all things movies. I'm Chad, and seated to my left is a man who needs no introduction, unless of course you've never met him before, and that's Corey.
Nice to meet you all.
Well, I'm hoping there's all sorts of new people tuning in to watch this episode, and it's not
And if you are just tuning in, please subscribe and let us know why you're watching us gab.
Shameless like, comment, subscribe plug. Shameless like, comment, subscribe plug.
I'd expect nothing less.
Anyway, so we're talking about Tango and Cash.
I will honestly say it is a guilty pleasure of mine.
Good. Admitting it is the first step.
Trust me, there's plenty of things that I'm sure I watch that people be like, you still? Yeah, I do. I don't know. I always consider one of those guilty pleasure for me is Scooby-Doo. Is there anything necessarily redeeming about the movie? No, I just like it. I don't know why. I just like it.
Thanks for sharing that.
I will say, watching it this time around with a more of a critical eye in some sense,
Yeah, and let's be honest here. You were more of an action kid in the 80s than I was. I was definitely, these were not my type of movies.
No action?
No action.
Yeah, it's like, if it's a guilty pleasure and you like it, I'm not going to try and tear it apart too much.
Oh, how nice.
the cast is solid. And, even your sub-characters, Brian James, he's this big, bald guy that had the ponytail.
Oh, yeah,
He's been in Blade Runner, Fifth Element.
Okay.
Yep.
You said Fifth Element twice, so, by the way.
I said Filth
Oh,
Element.
okay.
It is not filth.
Michael J. Pollard. His character, I liked his character.
Okay.
But I honestly say I don't see a purpose for him. He was kind of like James Bond's Q.
Yeah.
So, but then obviously, you had the main Stallone, Kurt Russell, Jack Palance, James Hong. Those were the big names.
It's quite an impressive list.
Such as we've mentioned on a couple different episodes here lately. This movie was chock full of roadblocks, headaches. Do you know did you see who the producer was? Did the producer name?
Thank you. Yes, you're touching on that. The producer is John Peters, and I won't go into by any means trying to retell the story for Kevin Smith. Go watch An Evening with Kevin Smith. You'll understand, because it basically, they went up to the wire as far as getting this done to be out in time, because it came out right before Christmas back in 1989. And so it took him up to the last minute getting it done, because even Warner couldn't settle on what they wanted the movie to be.
I can't make a decision now.
One of the things that is with this movie is it's just chock full of one-liners. Mm-hmm. There are some of them that are funny, but unfortunately they're ruined by the fact that there's too many of them.
Can you give me an example?
Such as the one that is kind of funny is when they first go into the prison and the dude with the big jaw and everything, Stallone says,
Yes, I love John Conan the Barbarian.
that was kind of a little bit of a slight
Right.
at Arnold Schwarzenegger, because Arnold Schwarzenegger was actually supposed to be Cash.
Only an idiot would do this job.
How much?
No, like I said.
Come to daddy.
I think the problem for me was, one, they never stopped. And the problem was, yes, they're slightly different characters, and that, Tango is a bit more fastidious, and
Always with the big words.
and Cash, is a little bit more brash, but they're still the same type of cop. It's just like, okay, whatever. In all honesty, I got bored after a while. It's like, whatever, okay, cool. They're just going to keep one-upping each other.
What do you think? I think my underwear is riding into my throat.
Well, nice to see your underwear problem is solved.
I noticed, and Cash, you can stop holding in your stomach.
The music at the beginning, and it was all that steel drum sound
yeah,
at the
yeah,
beginning.
yeah.
Who it was Harold Faltermeyer.
Okay.
He did Top Gun, Beverly Hills Cop, The Running Man,
Wow.
So he has a lot of things. He also did, I was very surprised at this, the animated music video, Crazy Frog. So here's this guy who has a pretty good track record on him, and he gets thrown into this really bad...
Yeah.
I just wonder how he felt.
Well, I'm sure it felt like some sort of crazy dream.
I believe it's wrap-up time, sir.
All right. I will just say, yes, this is a guilty pleasure. I think saw many articles, different little posts saying that it's a guilty pleasure for people. You watch it now, if you haven't seen it, I will say you're not going to enjoy it much. You might find some excitement out of it. So, and for me, I still gave it a pretty decent score, but it's nowhere super high. It was at a 62.
Oof, okay. Well, your definition of super high and mine are different, I guess. So the thing I would say is, yes, if you haven't seen it yet and you want to go watch 80s action movies, go pick up Lethal Weapon. There are all sorts of other ones you can pick up. I think, once again, it's okay to have bad logic in a movie, but be consistent with the bad logic. I don't think they are. So it's just, for me, it was a tough watch. I checked out after a while, so I gave it a score of 32.
Looks like you two aren't seeing eye to eye.